Hello everyone, hello, it's a very special one, it's the M&S Big Mix. Yes, look at M&S Food. Yeah, Marks & Spencer's basically. Yes, look at that classic selection of chocolate covered toffees, caramels and creams. So it's their answer to basically Quality Street or Roses, I imagine. Maybe a bit of a mix of both. Yeah, so very nice box, looks pretty good. Sainsbury's used to do their own chocolate selection, very similar to Quality Street Roses, but they've stopped doing that now, and I haven't seen this one in M&S before. It might have been out for a while, but I've not seen it. But nonetheless, I've got it now. So yes, it should be an interesting one. It feels very heavy actually. If you pick up this size box of Roses or Quality Street, certainly don't feel as heavy as this does. And it's a 650 gram pack. So I'm quite sure, I wouldn't say it wasn't cheap, of course. It's M&S, but it feels very full. Basically, it feels very heavy. So I think if you did eat them all, I think you would definitely feel 650 grams heavier. That's for sure. So it looks pretty good, doesn't it? It looks pretty good. Pretty normal on the outside, but I think you know what you're getting into, that's for sure. What do you actually have in it as well? So first of all, we have salted caramel, milk chocolate whirl, all right, filled with gooey salted caramel. Right, struggling to stay focused here. So what I'll probably have done is a screenshot of of this picture here. So you might notice it's been exceptionally still. It's just so that you can still see what I'm talking about, even though even though it's actually struggling to film it. So yeah, this will probably be a screenshot anyway now, so you can still read it as I'm going on. So coffee truffle, milk chocolate with a coffee flavoured truffle. Hazelnut and caramel, milk chocolate with soft caramel and a whole hazelnut. Then milk creme, so not milk cream, but milk creme. Milk chocolate swirl filled with a milk creme. Then cream toffee, toffee made with double cream, interesting. Caramel fudge in smooth milk chocolate. Strawberry creme, dark chocolate with a smooth strawberry fondant creme with a strawberry flavour centre. Orange creme, dark chocolate with a smooth orange flavour fondant creme and a tangy centre. Biscuits in caramel, runny caramel filled with milk chocolate and crunchy biscuit pieces. That sounds very nice. I quite like the sound of that one. Do like a mix of sort of textures and flavours, this and the other, and that definitely sounds to have it. Butterscotch Eclair, milk chocolate covered butterscotch flavoured toffee with a milk chocolate centre. So basically an eclair there. I'm not too keen on that one. I feel like they're the rubbish ones in Cadbury's Heroes. So there we go. So it seems like, so obviously you've got the sort of orange and strawberry cremes that you could get in both. There seems to be more reminiscences of the Quality Street ones, so it's dark chocolate, but you do get similar in Roses. So you do get in darker milk chocolates here. I don't think you get any white chocolate though. That's not unusual in these selections, but it would be nice if it did do it. This is just a straight toffee, so it's like the toffee penny pretty much, isn't it? Milk chocolate swirl with milk creme, not sure. Is that just, I don't know what that one is really, seems an interesting one. Salted caramel. Oh, there you go, caramel in chocolate basically. Hazelnut caramel, that's the typical one, isn't it? The purple one. That kind of thing you get in Quality Street and in Roses. Caramel fudge, that's the caramel in milk chocolate, like probably the chewy one. Milk chocolate with coffee, that's an interesting one. Coffee truffle, quite excited about that one. Biscuit caramel is the one I'm most excited for actually, I must say. I don't, I'm an easy person to please, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I like biscuit and chocolate, and it's got caramel in as well, so it's got a lot of texture differences. I feel like that hopefully might be my favourite. I'm quite interested in the coffee truffle as well. And the Eclair one, I feel like my least favourite. Eclairs in these things it's just boring, I find, to be honest with you. But alright, there we go. So it says not suitable for children under 36 months due to potential choking hazard, it says. Got the calorie values here, so per 100 grams, 476 calories. So normally chocolate products per 100 grams have between 500 to 550 calories, so that's interesting. 20.9 grams of fat, 12.5 litres of saturates. So obviously if you did eat the whole tub, it would be pretty calorific. And I say it's pretty much 650 grams, so 6.5 times that. So yeah, quite a lot I think you'd say. Probably about 3,000 calories, something like that. We're on the way to it anyway. So there's the ingredients. So not suitable for people with nut allergies. Got palm oil in there. There you go, tapioca starch. All right. Okay, so it says glazing agent gum Arabic gum. Milk chocolate contains cocoa solids 30% minimum. Milk solids 20% minimum. Dark chocolate contains cocoa solids 70% minimum. So pretty high percentage for dark chocolate, which is quite nice. And that was at the bottom here, by the way. There's the allergy advice in bold. Peanut nut allergy, not suitable for people with those. Alright, so there we go. Interesting. Alright, so there's much more to say really. There's some blurb on the side just about recycling, things like this. Okay. On the bottom, anything of interest? Sell by dates? Yeah, so not bad at all. I think that's very interesting, this one. But I think we need to find out what it looks like on the inside. So we're going to open up what distribution's like. Stuff like this. So let's move stuff down and do just that. Right, okay everyone, okay, we're going to these M&S Food Big Mix and open, and why not? Basically the equivalent of Quality Street, Cadbury's Roses, that kind of thing. Yeah, so we'll just pour them out. I think I've not got the plates here, so we can just let's see what up against. I've got a bit of a sellotape topper there. I'm just going to cut it. The old knife of dreams. Let's see if I can. Will it cut straight, or is there some kind of tab? That'd be a cardboard tab there. It seems to. Oh no, there we go. Okay, that's cut a bit. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's pour them out. So what distribution is like, that's the important thing I think, because obviously we want the distribution to be relatively equal. Now of course the weightages are different. Sometimes like the eclairs are quite light, so the proportion of weight is equal potentially, but you know, yeah, but obviously that doesn't matter really. You tend to eat one at a time. So it's pretty full actually, I must say. Look at it, it's full to the top as well. It definitely feels like you're getting, I don't want to say your money's worth, but it's definitely representative of the, you know, what's in the box. It's a big box. It feels hefty. It feels like there's a lot in it, and it is pretty much filled to the top. So very impressed with that. Very impressed. Just pour them out. Goodness me, it's going to be it's going to take up all the space, this I think. Right, so there's a lot in here. Looks very nice. Okay, goodness me. All right, so hopefully I'll keep these on screen so you can see them at all times. So it's going to be quite difficult. So I've got 4 of those at least. 5 of them. Get the old pinkies out. That's a salted caramel one maybe, but we'll see. Yes, it's going to be difficult, this. I've got 5 of those. 6 of them. I can spot another one somewhere. Alright, so let's start with these ones here. It's going to be easy as time goes on. That's where you start whittling them down. Apologies, I might not be able to keep it all on camera at all times. It's just logistically difficult. You can tell these are the butterscotch ones already. You can feel it. Okay, yeah, we'll get the orange ones down here. So far, reasonable distribution. There's no coconut ones in this selection, I noticed. Anything like that. I think it's just one nutty one, isn't it? There's no pralines or anything like that. So there's no controversial ones other than maybe the eclairs, I would say. So I do have some in my hand here. I've just got to do it that way. Goodness me. Alright. difficult, but we're hopefully getting there. Alright, so let's move some of these down here. Butterscotch ones. So you can see the butterscotch ones are a bit smaller than the others, so there might be more of them because of the weight. But I don't like if they do that. I'd rather, you know, just be an equal amount of them really. Which ones are the eclairs? Let's see if we can get these yellow ones here. So it looks like a good distribution here, I must say. Although having said that, the green ones, yeah, I think there's about 5 of those. Yeah, seems to be about 5 of each of them. Is the gist of it. You can go down there if you can see that still. Yes, I can go there. I'm running out of space a bit here, so I might have to put them in my hand. Do some of the rest of them. We have one here, for instance. Let's get these purple ones in. Down here, I can go up there. If you can see that, you probably can just about. Purple. These are the sort of like the Brazilian, not Brazilian, the hazelnut one. Right, there we go. Good. So how can we show these other ones? All right, I might have to put them on the side, going down maybe. That's the easiest way. Maybe. Maybe. And these red ones are very similar to these ones, but these are strawberry ones, aren't they? So where can I put these red ones? I don't know. Where can I put the red ones? It's difficult. Maybe just kind of going on the middle like this. Let's do that. Alright, bit annoying that they're kind of mixing in with these ones here. You can kind of see the difference, can't you? Okay, so not bad. So there's about 5, 6 of each of them, and I think that's really good actually. I think this is a really good distribution here. I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, I feel like this is pretty spot on to be honest with you, how you'd want it. I mean, obviously they're going to be, if there's 6 of some, 5 of another, I think that's fine. You know, we'd rather have 6 of some rather than, you know, all of them have 5. But obviously I guess the weightage would hopefully still be the same. But yeah, so 5 of those, 6 of them. 5 of those, 6 of those, 6 of those, 5 of those, 5 of them, 6 of those, 6 of those, 6 of those. So it's basically 5 and 6s. I think that's perfectly acceptable. I'm very happy with that. And there's not like loads of the Eclair ones, for instance. I think that's really good. I must say that's it could be fluke. If I got another pack, it could be completely different. I don't know. But the fact that they're so close in each single one of them, I think can't be it would be very, very lucky to have it that perfect, I think. So I'm very happy with this distribution. I think it's really, 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 really good. So yeah, very happy with that. Very happy indeed. All right, yeah, so I'd say some of them are a bit smaller than others, though, you know, so they've obviously not done it really by weight. So this is the butterscotch one. You can see this is a bit smaller than this one here, which I presume is the strawberry one. Yeah, so there we go. So, you know, again, I'm happy. I don't mind that, you know, I don't mind that. If they've just made it equal, I think that's the best thing. As I say, if you go to something like Cadbury's Heroes or whatever, or, you know, with the eclairs in, you get like about 50 eclairs, but only like 5 of the other ones. I'm exaggerating a bit there, but... Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy indeed. So, yeah. All right, brilliant. Good stuff indeed. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll just taste them individually. Maybe bite them in half, shear the middle or something like that as I do that. I think it would just, to chop them in half, shear that way, I think it would just be a bit difficult really, and to measure them all. I don't think it's worth me doing that. I think it would just take a bit too, maybe I'll measure them, I don't know, as time goes on, I'm not sure. But I think the fact is it's a 650 gram box. So, yeah, I think that's the important part in regards to this. And I'll give them an individual rating. And we'll take it from there, I think. Yeah, so right, let's lift stuff up, give these a taste. Quite excited for these, I must say. And one last thing I would say, actually, I was just about to move myself over, just move the camera back down again, is that they are very colourful as well. I love the different colours. Maybe these two are a bit similar, the orange ones and the strawberry ones. I think maybe they're just a bit too similar, really. They are, you know, you can tell the difference, but only when they're next to each other. Otherwise, you might be a bit confused. So I think that could be a bit better, to be honest with you. But other than that, I assume that's the orange and strawberry anyway. But other than that, yeah. In fact, what is it? Maybe that's a strawberry one. It's the orange and salted caramel, actually. It's orange and salted caramel, so they're very different as well. So that's the salted caramel, that's the orange one. I thought it was orange and strawberry, but of course, that's the strawberry one. So yeah, they could be a bit more different, really, I think. But other than that, a lovely colour. They all look great. I think I like the look of them. I think it looks pretty good. Anyway, as I say, back to wherever I interrupt myself or whatnot, or I'll lift myself up and give them a taste. Right then, everyone, I'm going to give this big mix from M&S a taste. Why not? Well, I'll taste them individually, of course. It's got a few different ones here. So there's, what's that? Look at that, 10 different chocolates. Very nice indeed. Very nice. And a good distribution of them. So I'm going to give each one a taste. So I'm not going to open them individually, chop them in half, measure them, things like this. I think I might just taste them and perhaps bite them in half, share the other half, something like that, see what they are. I feel like it just would take too long with this amount of chocolate, and I think people might just lose a bit of interest with that one. And yeah, so, you know, just get a bit more brevity, a bit more to the point with these ones. So okay, so we'll start with which one should we start with? We'll leave the chewy ones, I think, to the last, I think. Let's say, yeah, it's difficult. Let's start off with the milk creme, shall we? I feel like this one sounds a bit normal. We'll see what it's like. Okay. That's pretty good, though. Pretty nice. A bit of a whippy top. And the description of this one is milk chocolate swirl filled with milk creme. Alright, so we'll just bite the top off and see what it's like. So let's give it a go. Wow. It's very creamy. Interesting. That's very different, actually. That's really, wow. That was actually a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting a bit of a mundane chocolate here. This one's pretty nice. I think it's, wow, it's just I don't know, it's like a lovely, indulgent, yeah, sort of creamy centre, really. But it's not, I'm not a big fan of creamy centres generally. I feel like they're a bit too, I don't know, you know, these sort of fluffy, like Oreo cream sort of centre, sort of milk chocolate, Milka bars or Cadbury bars you get. They're always a bit boring, I think, generally. I'm not a big fan of them. But this one, very nice. I'm going to have to go back. It's definitely creamy. Buttery, though. It's a nice one, this one, you know. It's very indulgent, really. I'll say it's very different, and it's... I like it. The chocolate's nice as well. It's a typical sort of, you know, milky, creamy milk chocolate, I think you'd say. It's definitely that way inclined, but I think it's more... It's not a massive prominent taste. You know, it's more about just a container for the rest of it. So you do get the chocolate taste, of course, but it's not the main event. The main event is obviously the centre. So I like the chocolate. It's got a nice thickness to it. I like that milky cream. It's very nice, actually. You know, it's interesting. Not normally my sort of thing I'd normally go for, but I'd say pretty nicely implemented. Nice sort of... I'm trying to think. It's like a sort of liquid Milky Way essentially is just a bit Milky Way in the UK. There's that sort of fluffy centre. It's a bit like that, but sort of liquefied almost. Not liquidy, of course. It melts in the mouth, kind of liquid. Yeah, so I think for me this one's a pretty nice one actually. I feel like yeah, it's hard to describe what that actually is. But as I say, it's just a nice indulgent, creamy filling that's actually quite liquidy. You know, no, I quite like that one. As well, I say liquidy as far as like a melting mouth truffle affair going on, but I think that was actually quite successful, that one. I think that's quite nice. I think it's a good 4 out of 5 for me, that one. Very nice and very different as well, not like anything you get in other chocolate selections that I've seen anyway, so very nice. Not the typical Roses Quad Street type affair anyway. Alright, so let's have a see. Salted caramel, let's try that one next, shall we? Okay, let's give this one a go. Okay, it's got a bit of a whirly topper to it there, or whirly outer casing. What's the description? Milk chocolate whirl filled with gooey salted caramel. It's probably relatively quite normal, this one, I imagine, probably, but let's give it a bit of a go. Not bad, not bad. Caramels, is it salty? I'm not getting a massively salty taste from it. It's okay though. Plenty of caramel, thick chocolate. Don't feel like I need to go back for another taste to kind of get the gist of it. Yeah, I definitely feel like it's quite normal, this one. It's a caramel, you know, it's runny caramel, it's very runny. You can see how runny it is. You know, it's certainly nice. The chocolate's nice and thick as well. Nice chocolate. Nothing that's going to blow socks off chocolate wise, but it does the job. It's nice enough, you know, it's a nice milk chocolate. I feel like it's not bad, that one. It didn't come across as massively salty. I'm kind of thinking, you know, is it me? I'm expecting them to be a bit too salty. But it's a nice runny caramel. It's pretty standard. It's a typical sort of runny caramel you get in these ones, but it's quite nice. The chocolate's thick, as I say. You can hear the sort of the snap of the chocolate's a bit into it. And I think the caramel's nice enough. It is what you'd expect it to be. I feel like it's a bit more mundane because you've had this one before. I think the other one, that's a milk creme one or whatever it's called, was very much of a surprise really. But I don't think this one's any worse. The fact that it's a bit more standard. I mean, it's a good chocolate sort of snap in there. Say thick chocolate, nice caramel, nice and runny. Possibly could be more salty, but you know it's still good enough. So I think for me 4 out of 5 this one. Yeah, enjoyed that one. That's a nice one as well actually. And the chocolate being quite thick definitely helped it out. Alright, so what should we go for next? Let's go for the hazelnut and caramel. So milk chocolate with soft caramel and a whole hazelnut, so it's a typical affair. Quite similar to one we've had, I guess, but without the saltiness. So we'll see what the difference is with the caramel there. Let's get into it a bit. Obviously it's got the purple colouring. That's off purple, doesn't it? Okay, so there we go. It's got like a nice design on it. Like a kind of like a hazelnut outer casing. Put two of them together, I guess. Alright, let's give a bite. We might miss hazelnut with biting this. I'm not a big fan of whole hazelnuts generally. But you know, we'll see. And I have missed it. Yeah, the caramel, you can definitely taste the difference with the caramel. It's buttery, but a lot less tasty than the caramel on the salted one. It's very buttery actually. Let's see. Yeah, don't get the whole hazelnut out, but it does look to be there. Quite a big whole hazelnut as well. You can see it there. Yeah, messy. Caramel everywhere. Should just set the other half, shouldn't I? Really. Yeah, the hazelnut's not too bad. It's not, you know, not my cup of tea particularly. It does seem to be as impactful as hazelnuts I've tasted in other sort of chocolatey products, maybe in I'll say basically in any other thing really. It's still there, but it seems to be a lot more disguised by the caramel. Plenty of caramel in there. Not too bad. A thick chocolate again. And the caramel definitely, you could definitely taste that the caramel wasn't as good as the salted caramel one. It was definitely a lot more buttery and normal. Not too bad, that one. For me, that one, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of whole hazelnuts. If you love whole hazelnuts, you could probably make this a 4 out of 5 at least, I think. But I think for me, the caramel was a bit mundane actually. A bit, I'd say, quite buttery, but not too interesting. Maybe a bit too buttery. I don't know. It wasn't too interesting for me. And the hazelnut doesn't really do much for me, to be honest with you. But I think I can appreciate it, and I think all the same, even by the fact if you are a lover of whole hazelnuts or hazelnuts generally, I still feel like this probably is an accurate score. I mean, for me, my actual score would probably be, I don't know, maybe maybe a 2.5 out of 5 because I'm not a big fan of whole hazelnuts. But I think for the fact that I can appreciate it for what it is, this, that, and the other, this is definitely, if you like whole hazelnuts, I think it would be a 3.5 out of 5. I feel like it's a bit too buttery, the caramel, and hazelnut perhaps is a bit lost in all that. But yeah, so I don't know. Not the best one, that one, but not bad. Not bad. All right, let's see. Yeah, what should we do? Let's do the caramel fudge, the blue one. Caramel fudge. Let's try that one. Have I got the right one? Yes, this one here. Okay, so I'm expecting a bit more of a chewy caramel in here. Got that swirl topper again. So they do sort of blend into one in some respects. Some of them, and you have the same design. Let's give it a bit of a go. I tried to bite into it. My teeth just slid off it. It's kind of a bit of caramel fudge. It's got like a nut on top. Caramel fudge and smooth milk chocolate. That's really weird. It's just basically solid chocolate with like a biscuit on the top. This must be the biscuit and caramel. Have they been I think that was I don't know what that one was. That's really weird, that one. Let's open another one. Yeah, here's another one. Completely different design. But it's the same wrapper. I was in the wrong wrapper, I think, that one. I don't even know what that one was. It was just like a biscuit top or I don't know, but it was like a biscuit top. But with just solid milk chocolate. It was just a completely different. It wasn't like the biscuit and caramel. There was no caramel in there. It was like it was like the wrong chocolate. I don't really know what had happened there. Well, I'm assuming this is probably more like it. Let's give this a go. No, caramel fudge. This is more like it. This is actual fudge. This is actually just regular fudge. Actually, I thought it was going to be a chewy caramel. That was really weird. That one. I don't know what that one was. It was like a completely different chocolate that's not in this selection. Because it was like a biscuit top, but surrounded by chocolate. It's very weird. I mean, you can see where the biscuit was at the top there, or something. Yeah, and then just the rest of it's just thick chocolate. So it's really strange. Come back to that in a bit then. But yeah, this one, it's just fudge basically. It's actually proper fudge in a way almost. It's a bit too sickly for me. I'm a bit prefer sort of like the sort of the fudge you get in like Cadbury's fudge or the other fudges in Quality Street or Roses. So for me, this one, it's not really for me. If you like fudge, you probably get more out of it for me. But it's just a bit, I don't know. Fudge just doesn't do it for me. It's that very sweet, very I don't know. Yeah, just very sweet powdery middle. I don't know. So I think for me, it's probably a 2.5 out of 5. That one. I'm not too interested in that. Yeah, but if you like fudge, you could bump it up to a 4 or something. But I don't know. It just was a bit mundane for me, that one. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? I say, well, if it's your favourite, then you can make it a 4 out of 5. I don't think that's really a valid thing to say on every time. I just think it was a bit boring, that one. I'm going to go for the Butterscotch Eclair. This one looks quite a lot bigger than I feel like it should be. Okay, this one a bit more. That seems to have come out of it a bit more. It's a bit more normal looking. Let's give it a go. This is more the chewy caramel, actually. The Butterscotch Eclair one is maybe better than you expect because it is basically the chewy caramel. It's not like the Eclair from Cadbury's Heroes where it's very, very tough. It's almost like a boiled sweet almost. It's like this is actually more like a chewy caramel, which is explained by the Butterscotch Eclair when you think about the fact it's butterscotch. So it's a bit more of a buttery chewy caramel. So it's actually a bit more of a nice experience. I would have preferred just a regular chewy caramel actually, rather than this Butterscotch Eclair. But it's not too bad. You can see where I bit into it there. That chocolate centre top. But it's okay. But it's not blowing my socks off. But it's alright. It's better than that. It's better than Eclairs. Eclairs, if it was just an Eclair, would have been like a 2 out of 5. The butterscotch flavour is quite, it's quite butterscotchy for me. I'm not a massive fan of that. It's very dry, burnt, sort of toffee caramel type of flavour. It's a bit buttery. Don't know. It's okay. It's chewy. I like the chew, but I think the taste is not perfect for me. The chocolate's quite thin as well. Doesn't really get much to it from that. Chocolate's quite thin for the caramel fudge as well, by the way. But yeah, so Which one I didn't mention it basically, I didn't really add anything to it. But the same with this one really. Yeah, it's okay, but I think it's a 3 out of 5 for me, this one. It's one of the weak ones for sure. I prefer just a chewy caramel basically. But it's better than an actual eclair would have been, as in as like Cadbury ones. So, Alright, let's try the biscuit and caramel now. Let's try that one. So this one I'm really looking forward to. I don't know, maybe is this basically the other one that we had? It's kind of got a bit mixed up. It's a different design than the other one. The other one had like the swirl design. I don't really know. Okay, let's give it a go. Caramel. Well, I've eaten the biscuit. It's basically like the hazelnut one, but with a biscuit instead of a hazelnut. So, it has the same problem where I've got caramel dripping down my mouth. Where the biscuit's lost in the caramel. There's just too much caramel in it almost. Yeah, so and so you do get a bit of a biscuit in there, but it's almost lost, like the hazelnut one was. I'm not a big fan of hazelnuts, but I almost couldn't taste it in the hazelnut one. And this one again, this one's a bit disappointing as well, really. Yeah, the caramel's quite buttery, quite nice, but I think the salty caramel being in there is just so much nicer. I think it's a shame they're not all salty caramel, I think, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I think for me this one, it's not bad, but I think it's probably, almost like saying a 3 out of 5, really. Maybe we should mark down the hazelnut one to 3 out of 5 rather than 3.5, which I believe I get, if I remember wrong now. But yeah, the biscuit one, yeah, I don't know, a bit disappointing, that one. I think I will say, yeah, I'll give it a benefit of the doubt, say 3.5 out of 5, but I think that one, and maybe the hazelnut one, actually is a 3 out of 5, to be honest with you. But for the moment, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but I think if I did it again, knowing what I know now, I don't know, maybe I would say, because now I know that it's basically been lost, the hazelnut and the biscuit's just lost in all that caramel, and it's not just me not liking hazelnut, things like this. Yeah, I feel like they're a bit disappointing, those ones, actually. I feel like there should just be more biscuit or more hazelnut, or just less caramel. I don't know, just not quite proportioned right, I don't think. But it's still nice chocolate, obviously. But there we go. So let's try the crème toffee or cream toffee, which are cream toffee, the chewy one. Might be here sometime, guys. I don't think I can bite this one. I've just got to eat the whole thing, because if I bite it, I just don't think it'll work. Goodness me, sticking to the wrapper as well. Let's get this one out of the way. Alright, so it's basically the toffee penny. Is the gist of it. Let's give it a go. Yeah, we're going to be here a very long time. Goodness me. The toffee penny is quite thin. This is quite thick, which doesn't help the chew. Also, this one they tried to get more a similar shape, which is good for the packaging, but goodness me. Okay. Maybe I'll just cut to sometime later. But basically, a nice chew, but I don't think it's as nice as the toffee penny. I want it to be exactly the same, but it doesn't taste as nice, I don't think, actually. I don't mind the toffee penny. It's not exciting for me. But when I come to it, I actually don't mind it. But this one's not as nice at all. It's a bit, it tastes a bit more watery almost. I don't know. Yeah. It's just not as nice, really. It's not a good one. So it's a bit too thick as well. It's too thick to start chewing it, And once you get through it, it's okay. It just goes into sort of a manageable texture, a bit like chewing gum almost. But a bit too thick, a bit too watery in its taste. I don't know, for some reason. Maybe it's just the saliva mixing with it and things. It just doesn't come across as that great. Give me this one 2 out of 5. Definitely, I wasn't expecting much from it, but I think I got less than I expected. So not great, that one. We're still lingering on. Okay, so which one have we done? We've done the coffee. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 4 more to do, I think. No, 3 more to do. Got the strawberry and orange creams and the coffee truffle. Let's do the orange one now. Get that one out. It's quite a strong one, the orange one, I imagine. Dark chocolate this time. 7% dark chocolate, you can see there. Nice design. I still don't know what that random one was that we got. Got a random one in the and the blue one is just completely different chocolate than any on the box. It was really weird that. I don't know what it was. It was just like a, I don't know, it was just a different chocolate. I'd have to change in one of them and they've accidentally put it in this one. I don't know if one's changed from something else. Very strange, but anyway. Right, orange cream. So dark chocolate with a smooth orange flavour, fondant cream, or creme. But yeah, it's creme actually rather than cream. With a tangy centre. Okay. Look at that. Interesting, look at that. So the centre is different from the outside. Which is interesting, isn't it? Very orangey. Very tangy. Has a bit of the, yeah, it does taste a bit fondant-like actually. I like that. I like the way it's got a different centre in there. I think that's pretty interesting. I think it is what it is. You know, it's got dark chocolate and orange. It's not bad. It kind of just is what it is, that one. I mean, it's just an orange flavouring, you know. I quite like the tangy centre. I guess that's, you don't really taste that. You just get a bit more of an orange flavour. I guess you're oozing out a bit. You know, so there is that. So there's nothing, you know, it looks better than the taste that comes with it, if you know what I mean. It's just a different way of delivering the flavours. It's not bad, that one. I don't, it doesn't blow your socks off. If you love orange and dark chocolate, I think you obviously, again, you know, but I think for me, I don't know, it's not as nice as like having a Jaffa cake, basically. So I think for me, it's a 3.5 out of 5. It's nice, but yeah, Jaffa cakes are nicer, you know. So 3.5 out of 5. Let's try the strawberry equivalent. It's possibly exactly the same, but with strawberry rather than orange. So we'll double check that in a second. I think the salted caramel one was a bit of a standout so far actually, even though at the time I wasn't too impressed with it. So strawberry cream. So dark chocolate with a smooth strawberry fondant creme with a strawberry flavour for centre. Right, so they're basically the same thing. A bit more normal this time because it's more of a fondant centre. Yeah, perhaps a bit missing on the sort of like the strawberry centre there. Maybe a bit. Yeah, a bit more normal this one. A bit, the flavour's a lot more lacking in the orange one. The flavour in the orange one was a lot more strong. You know, it really was actually. The strawberry one, it seems a lot less defined actually. A lot more fondanty. Sugary. Whereas the other one was a lot more orangey. And obviously a lot, you know, still sugary, but it just tasted more orangey. That strawberry one, yeah, a bit disappointing, that one. So I don't know if it was just try another one. Just to see if this one's a bit more. Dropping bits everywhere. No, exactly the same. So you can see the orange one was a lot more exciting. You had the colours and the runny centre. The strawberry ones just don't seem to have that. Very disappointing, that one actually. And quite a subtle strawberry flavour as well, not really very strong. So I think for me that one, good, nice dark chocolate I guess, but it's more of the sugary centre. It sort of detracts from the dark chocolate, I would say. Or it disguises it really. So for me that one, yeah, probably a 2.5 out of 5. That one, maybe a 3 at the push. I'm going to say a 2.5 out of 5 because I know what should be there. It should be more like the orange one with that sort of other centre in there to add a bit more flavour and things, and it probably should be coloured as well a bit better. At least for the orange one is. So it's surprising that it's not pink, you know, a bit disappointing. But you probably might never see that, might just eat it whole anyway. But once you have seen it, you feel like it's a bit more of a lazy attempt really. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, that one. Yeah, disappointing. Alright, so we've only got one more, which is the coffee truffle. I've saved one till last. I'm quite excited for this one. I feel like this probably should be a dark chocolate, but I think it's a milk chocolate. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Milk chocolate with a coffee flavoured truffle. Alright, let's give this one a go. Basically a truffle centre. Quite normal actually, not cream. Yeah, it's alright, this one. It's a truffle centre. It's pretty boring. We see them all the time nowadays. Truffle centres are pretty boring. They're in every single chocolate product. Even some regular chocolate now, they're just truffles, you know, and they're pretty boring, to be honest with you. They used to be quite interesting and exciting 20 years ago, but nowadays I'm very much over them. They're just a pretty lazy attempt really, and it feels that way with this one. It's quite lazy. It doesn't feel very interesting. It's just a load of sort of a soft chocolatey product with a coffee flavour, and it's quite disappointing actually. I quite like coffee chocolates. I quite like the indulgence of them, the difference between them and the other sort of chocolates in the selections and things, but this one is quite mundane as well actually. It's just pretty boring, to be honest with you. It's just pretty boring. I feel like it could be a lot more interesting. So 2.5 out of 5. That one. There's not much to say from it. It's just a a chocolate truffle. It's not even really very truffly. It's just quite powdery, not far from like a whisper consistency almost. But without the sort of bubbly velvetiness. So yeah, so a bit disappointing that one actually. Very disappointing. I was quite looking forward to that one. The most I saved it to last, especially because I was thinking it might affect the other flavours and things. But the coffee flavour was quite mundane. Truffle experience was quite mundane. Didn't really, the milk chocolate and the truffle didn't really stand out between each other. It just was a bit disappointing, really. So overall, this selection, well, we had that one random one, didn't we, which was the caramel fudge. It was just a completely different chocolate. There wasn't any other chocolate in the selection. It wasn't. I thought it might be the biscuit and caramel, but there was no caramel in it. We had like a biscuit topper. It was almost like the hazelnut whirl from, from roses in the past. We had a hazelnut on top and then just chocolate around it. It was almost like that, but I don't think it was a hazelnut. I think it was more like a biscuit. And it was actually quite a nice one. I would have liked that in the selection, actually. It's better than the biscuit and caramel, just a biscuit with chocolate. I think that would have been one of the best ones in the set. But it's not there for some reason. I don't know what was going on there. That seemed like a very strange problem to have. A very strange, quality control issue there. I don't know whether that was, they've replaced that with another one, the caramel fudge is a new one, or they're going to replace it, or it's just some complete mix-up. I don't know how that's possible. Very strange. Sometimes I've seen with Quality Street things, they have someone manually filling in when there's gaps in the chocolate. If there should be like a bit more weight, they'll throw in, someone will manually throw a couple in at the end of the production line. So I don't know if that was the case, and they just, as they are changing one of the chocolates or have changed it, so they put the old one in. I don't know. So that's the only reason I can think of, that it could be in the same wrapper, but be a completely different chocolate. So let me know if you know. Leave a comment. Yeah, let me know. But overall, the selection, I think it's not gonna. It's certainly quite safe. It's certainly quite safe. There's no, like I said, there's nothing. There's not even any sort of like praline ones in there or coconut ones. There's no white chocolate in there. I'm not disappointed with that, to be honest with you. Maybe the white chocolate I wouldn't mind, but the rest of it, I think the strawberry cream was a bit disappointing. The caramel was a bit disappointing generally, and it's okay. But the hazelnut caramel and the biscuit caramel were very disappointing. It just overpowered the centre with the biscuit or the hazelnut with caramel basically. And the caramel was okay. It was just too much of it. Butterscotch Eclair was a bit surprisingly not too bad actually. I was expecting just a boring eclair, which was more of a chewy affair, but it still wasn't that great. The milk creme was very surprising. That was a really good one actually, interesting one. I quite like that one. The salted caramel one was nice as well. I think there was the two that stood out as being pretty nice. The cream toffee was just a bit too chewy and not very, the payoff wasn't good enough for it. Yeah, the orange cream was as you'd expect it to be, basically. It was what it was. It wasn't anything too special, but it ticked the boxes. So overall, not too bad. Would I get these over Quality Street or Roses? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't think I would. I think if they'd have nailed these if they'd nailed the interesting flavours, the biscuit and caramel, I think if they'd nailed that one, and even hazelnut and caramel really, but if they nailed the biscuit and caramel one, and had a chewy caramel that wasn't a butterscotch eclair, and the caramel and got rid of the caramel fudge, just replace that with something a bit more interesting, then maybe there's too many things that are just not quite right with it. I'll say the caramel fudge, the biscuit and caramel, the hazelnut caramel needs to be better. Butterscotch eclair is not really adding too much. It's not bad. It could be worse, but it could be better. The cream toffee is not as good as the toffee penny. Orange and strawberry creams I don't think as good as the ones in Quality Street. Although, having said that, the ones in Quality Street I tend to feel like taste like orange flavoured children's medicine, or strawberry flavoured children's medicine. I guess the strawberry one was a bit more like that in this one, but it wasn't strong enough the flavour. So yeah, just not as good either of them, I don't think. Coffee truffle was disappointing. The milk creme was a standout. The salted caramel was nice, but yeah, generally all the others were just not really as good. I think it's more similar to I would say Quality Street than Cadbury's Roses. I think Cadbury's Roses, I don't know, they are what they are. These days are a bit too much really for me. I kind of tend to prefer Quality Street, I think. But yeah, I think Quality Street is just. I think this one you get. What's good about it is the distribution and the number of chocolates. Is very good. And I'm not sure if Quality Street. I think when last reading didn't have too bad a distribution, but another time they didn't. So. But I think generally, yeah, I think Quality Street's probably just better, to be honest with you. I mean, there's some interesting parts in this. The milk creme is very interesting. Salted caramel's nice, but I don't think I could recommend getting this just based on those two things, when the rest of it is a bit lacking, to be honest with you. So I think for me, Quality Street's better. Roses, I think Roses is a different part. It's a lot more sweet, a lot more, different, really, I think you'd say. So I don't know, it's not really comparable with roses, I don't think. I think I'd probably prefer roses just because it's just so different, and the dairy milk is in there, which is a lot nicer than perhaps something like the coffee truffle, which is kind of chocolate but with a slight coffee taste. I just prefer to have the dairy milk, basically. Yeah, and there's no solid just chocolate one in here really, which would be quite nice, I think. Maybe just get rid of the caramel fudge and have that, which is a nice palate cleanser really. So yeah, so I think just lots of room for improvement. It's not bad. And you get a lot in the box as well, all this, that and the other, but overall, the chocolates themselves are just, they're just okay for the most part. They're nice, but they're just okay. And and I think a couple of them, the hazelnut caramel and the biscuit caramel, I probably should have given a 3 out of 5, I think, in hindsight now. There was a couple of 2s, wasn't there, I think, and some average ones. So I think overall for me, this selection is a 3 out of 5, basically. It's okay, but I think Quality Street Roses, I think, are just better. Yeah, Heroes and Celebrations probably as well, I think, to be honest with you. But there is something in this, but it should be better, and it definitely needs a bit more refinement, I think. But they've got the distribution right and the quantity of the chocolates right, which is good. There's a bit I normally complain that with other chocolates, selection type affairs that are similar, like roses and things like this, but in Quality Street and this, that, and the other. But just unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's the chocolates that matters, and I think in this case they're a bit lacking. Alright guys, let me know what you think. What's your favourite of Celebrations, Quality Street, Roses or Heroes? Whichever you like the best, let me know. Or whether you like these the best. Yeah, leave a comment or free. Always great to hear from you. Always do the best to reply. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.